And the statistics, I imagine you've seen the statistics that say that women initiate more divorces than men by a ratio of 2 to 1, 3 to 1, depending on the data set that you're looking at. We could explore all the reasons why that might be the case. But one thing that I will say to you is that it's enormously helpful to know who is the moving party, who is not. Who is the leaver, who is the leavee. It's absolutely vital to know that, and it's almost always the case that one party is taking initiative to a greater extent than the other. If they've been separated for 5 years or 10 years, maybe all of that emotion about who took the initiative may have dissipated or it may not have. It probably won't dissipate if you found out about an affair on a Fenway Park jumbotron. That has a way of making a lasting impression. But I guess the point is that the dynamic shifts. One of my maxims about divorce negotiation is that the leaver pays an economic penalty to the leavee, and the person who's had an affair pays an economic penalty in the negotiation to the person who didn't. And the third maxim is that both of these effects tend to wash out over time. So the longer the negotiation goes, the less impact the leaver-leavee dynamic has. Why? Because people see lawyers, they get educated, they find out the judge won't care. Same situation, at least in Massachusetts, with marital infidelity. The judges don't want to figure out why one party strayed. They don't want to get that far into the question of how's their sexual relationship, how's the rest of their relationship. So, so that's one really important thing to find out, what's the dynamic. Why ask the second question? What's it like when you argue?
Communicating.
I thought that was great. Yeah, how they have a baseline. If they scream and yell at each other, be ready for it.
Right.
I fully expected her to say, we don't.
That's what I expected, yeah.
And I got a hint of that answer in some ways from both of them. Is there some other reason why you might want to ask that question in a marital setting?
Seems they have a realistic mutual assessment of what goes on.
Yeah, that would be true. Domestic violence screening. Now, there are a whole bunch of different kinds of questions that one might ask if you're trying to rule out whether this is a physically abusive relationship. Lots of relationships are psychologically abusive, but we need to make sure that we are not creating a situation like the Kenneth Donnie case, or another case, also California, where a party literally got murdered at the foot of the steps of the mediation, and the mediator found her. And shocking case. I wrote an email to the mediator because I just felt so much compassion for what she experienced. So we need to be asking those screening questions. And at our firm, we have paralegal, who would typically be Karen Richards, before her, Nicole DiPatima, who ask questions designed to elicit information about whether there's been domestic violence or not. It has to be done in a subtle way because most people won't admit it. And sometimes you don't find out about it until you get farther down the road into the case. And then you need to decide what to do about it. So